Detention Incident Report Number 9912 Pold. Filed by Vayanthi Intelligence Bureau. Classification: Biological Psychological. Subject: Terran detainee, behavioral anomaly. Status: Protocol suspended pending review. Detention Block Delta. Vayanthi Station Corral, Maximum Security Wing. The human had been strictly classified as a solitary predator type. Highly dangerous, intelligent, isolated, standard class. 1-2 detainee protocol was actively applied. During initial intake, he exhibited a specific facial contortion, the bearing of blunt, calcium-based chewing ridges. The human smiled. It was initially documented as a possible deception indicator. Later, I would reclassify it as a genuine affection response. I monitored the live feed. Orion P. Solis, intelligence detain. Previous Earth occupation, Shepard, captured during an information-gathering operation. No resistance. No weapons. I have guarded Class 8 predators. Class 10 combat species. I have never seen a detainee smile the way this human smiled. I am still trying to understand what it meant. He sat in the cell calmly. Cross-legged, no restraints requested. Standard magnetic cuffs applied anyway. He didn't test them, didn't pace. He just looked at the camera. He smiled. Not threatening, not submissive. Warm, as if greeting a friend. The classification file stated, solitary predator. Dangerous when cornered. No pack affiliation. The file was wrong. The first 3 rotations were unremarkable. He slept. He consumed standard nutritional paste. He requested reading material and received a basic educational data tablet. He read about Vayanthi agriculture, sheep, he said to the camera. You graze animals too. Good practice. Patience. Understanding herd behavior. And then came day 4. A system malfunction in the adjacent sector released a Class 7 biological asset into the corridor. It was a canine-type predator. It immediately activated its hunting pattern. Scanner reading. Apex biological threat detected. Lethal proximity approaching. I watched the monitors, my cranial ridges vibrating with institutional panic. Detainees always retreat. Orion Solus stood, slowly. If a Class 1-2 detainee willingly exposes a soft, unarmored appendage directly to the primary biting apparatus of an engineered hunter, he knelt. He extended a casual, open-palmed hand straight through the energy bars. Good boy, he said. You found me. I initiated emergency containment protocols. The beast should have attacked. It should have severed his limb. Scanner reading. Hostile neurological matrix overridden. Endorphin equivalent spiking. Instead of attacking, the apex predator stopped. It sniffed his fingers. Then, impossibly, it began rhythmically oscillating its tail appendage. It licked his hand. Orion laughed. You're a pretty one. Reminds me of my girl back home. Shepard mix. My manipulation digits scrambled across the console, pulling Earth biological archives. I cross-referenced the human terminology. The results populated on my screen. 15,000 years, Orion said, scratching the monster behind its auditory receptors. We turned wolves into family. They're not pets. They're partners. He shrugged, continuing to stroke the lethal biological asset. Good practice for Shepards. Understanding pack behavior. Building trust. He smiled at the beast. The same smile from intake. It was not deception. It was recognition. It was the smile of a species that looked at the galaxy's deadliest predators and casually said, good boy. The monitoring station was completely silent. The Class 7 engineered hunter was sitting obediently in the cell block corridor. It was actively waiting for the human to speak. The warden entered the control room. He watched the live feed in absolute disbelief. They turned their planet's hunters into pets, the warden whispered, his mandibles clicking in shock. They're apex predators. They domesticated the wolves. 15,000 years, I replied, staring at the telemetry data. The file indicates cooperative pack bonding, multi-generational genetic selection. The warden leaned closer to the screen. They didn't just survive their predators, they recruited them. We looked back at Orion Solus. He was currently teaching the biological weapon to sit. He used simple hand signals. The beast was obeying. The human's tonal inflection shifted into a higher rhythmic frequency. We analyzed it as a specialized auditory weapon designed to trigger submissive endorphin release in hostile neural pathways. He called it being a good girl. The classification file said solitary. Security refused to enter. The predator remained in the corridor for 23 minutes. It was not hunting. It was waiting. The human had established absolute dominance through affection. I pulled the complete Earth domestication file. Wolves, apex predators that actively hunted humans for millennia. Then humans began selective breeding. To dedicate 15 millennia of selective genetic modification, not for combat utility or food production, but for interspecies emotional, the horrifying realization spread through the entire Bureau. If a Class 1-2 human can casually convert an engineered biological weapon into a fiercely loyal companion in under 20 minutes using nothing but physical touch and specific vocal frequencies, what catastrophic neurological overrides could they apply to our own combat forces? The creature had established a strict defensive perimeter. It was aggressively guarding him. At 0412 hours, Orion Solis pressed the intercom button. "Excuse me," Orion said politely. "Can the pretty girl stay? She is good company. Reminds me of home." All standard detainee protocols were suspended at 0600 hours. The classification of solitary predator was permanently flagged for review. The beast was reclassified as an unauthorized biological asset. The human was heavily reclassified as a pack-bonding social organism, requiring constant proximity to others. The institution completely froze. The rigid Vayanthi security system simply did not have operational protocols for a detainee who casually recruited the prison's deadliest guard animals. Orion Solis was officially released at 1400 hours. The predator went with him. It was officially documented as confiscated for study. Unofficially, it belonged to him. He smiled at me through the reinforced glass. The same expression from his intake processing. It was now standard training material for our intelligence operatives. The terrifying indicator of a planetary bonding capability. Detention Block Delta has new signage. No biological assets are permitted in human proximity without supervision. We do not know what else they can recruit. The shepherd smiled his way out of maximum security with a monster at his side. We still do not know how to stop them from making us love them.